Hello and welcome to this Affinity Photo Beginners tutorial, which is aimed mainly at the PC and Mac versions of Affinity Photo, and we'll be looking at shearing. Now there's a sort of a more basic way of doing shearing and a slightly more advanced way. So looking at the more basic way, what I've set up here is I made a rectangle layer over here, and then I duplicated it. Now the duplicated layer has turned into a pixel layer, so the original was a vector shape layer and the duplicated layer is a pixel layer. Now this should make no difference at all as to when it comes to shearing. I just wanted to show that you can do it on both pixel and vector layers. This would mainly be used on shapes or text, but you could probably use it on just about anything that you are adding to your projects. So I've got this pixel layer highlighted, and it is the only one that is turned on and visible. Now if you come to the move tool, which is this arrow underneath the hand, you will get the bounding box with the nodes in the corners and in the center points. And in the uppermost center point there's a extra node, a white node. Now this is for rotating the object, and if you put the cursor near to that, it will change to a curved double-ended arrow, and you can rotate that around. So let me just get this back to the center point. Now if you move the cursor to the corners, not quite on the nose but near the corners, you'll get that same curved double-ended arrow. So any of the corners, and you can rotate from these points as well. So the corners and this white node are for rotating. Now if you put the cursor close to any of the middle points, the cursor will change to a double or two arrows sort of separated, pointing in different directions, so either up and down or left and right. And if you go just underneath the white node, it will change to this, two arrows going left and right. If you click and drag this, you can shear the object either left or right. If I can get this back to center, and again on this side you can shear it up and down like that. So that's basically all the shearing does. It's just slant your object either left and right or up and down. See, and then if I turn that off and I look at this bit of text here, highlight this layer, the same thing will apply. You can slant your text sort of to do it in any sort of position that you want to set it. So that is like the more basic look at shearing. We've got 4 controls, either left and right or up and down. So let me turn that layer off, and we'll just look at the original vector layer. So again you can see you've got the same arrows turning up, whether it's the vector shape layer, the text layer or the pixel layer. But this time we're going to look at a slightly more advanced way of shearing, and for this it is a filter. Now you can get the filters from the filters menu here, and you have distort, and then down further we have shear. So when you come down to shear, you click on that, it will tell you that it has been rasterized. So although that was a a vector layer, it is now converted it into a pixel layer. Now, when you get the shear filter, you will get two squared graphs with a line with a node on each end. So if you click on one of these nodes, you can shear left and right, or you can shear up and down. But that is basically what you could do just using the move tool in the previous version. But this one, you can add nodes to these lines. So if I add one in the middle and I just click there, I can now drag this and I can sort of curve it, if you understand what I mean, like that. And if I just bring this back to, well, if I just press the delete button, it will get rid of that node and the line will come straight again. And if I put one in this one here, as you can see, I can arch that shape, which is something you couldn't do with the more basic way of shearing. I mean, you're not restricted to just like adding one node. You can add as many as you want, but obviously it will then become a pretty weird shape. But you can sort of really go to town and get a weird shape that you might be trying to achieve. So if I apply that, as you can see, if I turn that off, and that was the original shape, and it's now been curved and sheared into this unusual shape. And much like the previous version, if we look at the text and I add the filter to that, distort down to shear, you can do the same with the text. And let's move that way a little bit, and I'll add one here and make the, but you have to remember it has been pixelated. This was originally a vector shape and it is now a pixel layer. So if you take it too far, the edges may become very pixelated. This one's not too bad at the moment, but you do have to bear that in mind. So that is the end of that, I think. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.